From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kegan Kline. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kegan Kline, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, March 31st. The National Severe Storms Forecast Center says there could be some severe thunderstorms in the Midwest for tonight. There is a slight risk covering Indiana. Best chance is late in the day tonight. We're going to deal with the off and on rain all throughout the day. The good news is temperatures are mild, but really high wind gusts. And then, that severe weather threat moves in later this afternoon into those evening hours. So just be weather aware. Download that Storm Track 8 weather app, have it on your phone, and set your alerts to however you would like them to be set and keep you in the know as far as what to expect this evening. To a News 8 alert and a historic reckoning after years of investigations into former President Donald Trump. Prosecutors are now working to secure Trump's surrender. The exact nature of the charges are still unclear this morning, but they stem from hush money payments made during the 2016 presidential campaign. As Gloria Pasmino reports, this marks the first indictment against a former U.S. president in American history.
Following a years-long probe, a Manhattan grand jury is set to indict former President Donald Trump for his alleged role in a hush money scheme involving adult film star Stormy Daniels.
Today's indictment is not the end of the chapter, right? It's just rather the beginning.
A spokesperson for Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg says the indictment has been filed under seal, with charges to be announced in the coming days. Trump is expected to appear in court Tuesday for his arraignment, according to multiple sources. Trump responding in a Truth Social post Thursday evening, stating in part, "This is an attack on our country, the likes of which has never been seen before. It is likewise a continuing attack on our once free and fair elections." But a lawyer for Michael Cohen, Trump's former fixer, says prosecutors have a strong case.
I think this is a much stronger case than people recognize. I think everyone who's out there talking about this being a political case or a witch hunt are going to be sorry when they actually read the substance of what these prosecutors have developed in several criminal charges.
The indictment is a historic first. No current or former president has ever been brought up on criminal charges and is likely to have an impact on the 2024 campaign trail as Trump pursues the White House for a third time. In New York, I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
And politicians in Indiana are speaking out about Trump's indictment. News 8's government reporter Garrett Berquist spoke with representatives on both sides of the aisle and has their reactions.
As with everything relating to the 45th president, reaction is falling along party lines. Democrats are asking for the legal process to play out, while Republicans call the indictment a political move. Republican Congressman Jim Banks, who is a close ally of Trump, blasted the indictment on Twitter. He wrote, "If Donald Trump wasn't running for president, they wouldn't be prosecuting him. This isn't just an indictment of President Trump. It's an attempt to intimidate anyone who goes against the left's radical regime."
So you have the FEC who decided not to press charges, the DOJ who decided not to press charges, the previous prosecutor in Mr. Bragg's position decided not to. So the real question I have is what has, Prosecutor Bragg uncovered that the DOJ, the FEC did not?
Democratic Congressman Andre Carson says, "I have always maintained that no one, not even a former president, is above the law. Every American is entitled to due process, and I trust the legal process that resulted in today's indictment."
Well, I think it's a sad day for the United States of America. It's the first time a former president of the United States has ever been indicted. That's not a good thing for our country in any way, shape, or form. I would just hope that supporters of Donald Trump would withhold judgment, would wait till all the facts come out.
Former state Democratic Party Chair Kip Tu says he hopes the indictment chips away at Trump's support. But Republican strategist Whitley Yates says it likely will only make him a martyr. I asked each of them how this affects Trump's chances in 2024.
We need to wait to find out what the reaction is going to be. Certainly some of his people will become more ardent supporters. I hope people with open minds will take a look and say, maybe it's time for the country to move on from Donald Trump because all he is a drama queen 24/7.
I'm going to be honest. I see this helping him. I think it's going to galvanize people from different walks, because they're probably going to feel like, and you're seeing this sentiment a lot through social media, that they've kind of thrown everything at the wall and hope for it to stick, from Russia collusion to January 6th and now this. And the timing of this does seem very peculiar since he has announced that he's running for president again.
As a reminder, this indictment is not the only probe the former president faces. Federal investigations are still underway concerning his role in the January 6th attack on the Capitol and efforts to overturn election results in Georgia. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook.
Senator Mike Braun sent a statement to News 8 saying our justice system is being abused as a political weapon to go after former President Trump and affect the election. This indictment is clearly a politically motivated prosecution by a DA who ignores murders and carjackings but will contort the law to attack his political enemy. And former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence says Americans will see the indictment as nothing more than political prosecution as well. Pence called it a disservice to the country during a CNN town hall last night. He says the indictment will have no bearing on whether he decides to run for president. Earlier in the week, a federal judge ordered Pence to testify about conversations he'd had with Trump leading up to January 6th. That testimony is part of a different criminal investigation. And protests have already started outside of President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. A few dozen protesters showed up singing God Bless America and waving Trump and MAGA flags. There are no reports of any violence associated with the protests. And in other news, breaking overnight, 2 people are dead after separate shootings in Indianapolis. The most recent shooting happened just before midnight on the Near East Side. IMPD says officers found the victim dead on Gray Street near Michigan and Rural. Police haven't said if the victim is male or female or released their age. About 30 minutes before that, IMPD says it found a man shot and unconscious on the east side. That scene was at 14th and Priscilla Avenue. Police say the victim died at the hospital. Police haven't said what led to either of the shootings or if they're looking for any suspects. And to I-Team 8, where Kegan Kline has entered a guilty plea to child porn charges. Kline pleaded guilty to all 25 charges against him. But the question remains, was he involved in the Delphi murders? I-Team 8's senior investigative reporter Richard Essex was in the courtroom and has more.
Kline requested a change of plea hearing a couple weeks ago. His lawyer had indicated in court documents that there might be some kind of a deal, but that turns out not to have been the case. Kline sat in front of the judge this morning and pled guilty to every single charge. This News 8 exclusive video of Kegan Kline being taken out of the courtroom this morning, the first time that we have seen him in person. Just minutes earlier, he told the judge he was guilty of all 25 child porn-related charges against him. Through the entire court proceeding this morning, Kline kept his eyes locked on the judge and his lawyer as the judge read each felony count. Kline admitted to every one of them: child exploitation, child solicitation, possession of child pornography, and obstruction of justice. Kline described using the Anthony Schott social media profile to get hundreds of sexually explicit photos and videos from underage girls. He has also told the judge he understood the charges and was pleading guilty with a clear mind and giving up his right to an appeal. Investigators have confirmed to I-Team 8 that they believe Kline used the profile to communicate with Libby German, one of the 2 girls found murdered in Delphi in February of 2017. A transcript of state police interviews suggests Kline was exchanging messages with Libby. The 2 had discussed meeting in the days leading up to the murders. Kline has not been named a suspect in the deaths, and the Delphi case was not mentioned in Thursday's hearing. The plea came with no promise from prosecutors about how much time he might spend in prison. Kline did say in court that he may suffer from bipolar and schizophrenia. The deputy prosecutor, Courtney Allwine, said the next step in sentencing is an investigation.
It's a complete report about an individual's life, their family history, educational history, mental health history, criminal history. It's really a report about a person.
Kline is due back in court on May 18th for sentencing. In Miami County, Richard Essex, Wish TV, I-Team 8.
And to business headlines, fear of falling behind and the availability of remote work are leading many Americans to skip out on paid time off. Only 48% of U.S. workers say they use all their vacation days. That's according to a new survey from Pew Research Center. Private sector employees in the U.S. get an average of 15 vacation days after they've been working for 5 years, rising to 20 days after 2 decades on the job. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. About a third of workers with jobs that can be done remotely are working from home all of the time, according to a new Pew Research Center survey. This is down from 43% in January of 2022 and 55% in October of 2020, but up from only 7% before the pandemic. While tech firms are firing, the cybersecurity segment is hiring. Technology firms have shed more than 300,000 jobs in the past 2 years, with more on the way. The cybersecurity market has 3.5 million job openings globally, according to analysis. Bed Bath & Beyond shares hit a record low after another bankruptcy warning. Bed Bath said it had so far raised $360 million through complex deal, repaid its loan defaults, and made all interest payments on debt. And yes, beverage brands rely on skinny cans to draw in consumers. They're counting on a new slew of skinny aluminum cans to subtly signal to consumers that their exotic new drinks are healthier than the beer and sodas in short, round cans. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.